Welcome back, my fellow land barons, to Manor, Season 5 and our growing region of South Namalia. Today, we're turning our attention to this beautiful pond side, which is practically begging for a dedicated fishing industry. Our established settlement is doing well, but it's time to expand and secure a massive new food resource. Our mission is to build a quaint and booming fishing operation, and I'm going to walk you through how I'm integrating this new industry into our existing town, focusing on logistics and resource management to make it thrive right from the start. There's a metric ton of fish out there just waiting to be turned into dinner. So let's get our hands dirty and jump right on in. All right, first things first, let's chat about the resource node. See this little icon right here by the water's edge? That is our fishing spot, and it's our new gold mine. Our entire plan for this pond side hinges on this spot. The goal is to build our new fishing industry as close to this as possible, as it's just non-negotiable. It'll slash travel time for our fishermen, which means more food in the granary and more food for our settlers. It's honestly just simple math. Our existing logging camp is a bit inland, but that's fine. We have a steady supply of lumber. So our first move is to build the most critical building in this operation, the fisherman's hut. It costs 2 timber, which we have plenty of. I'm placing it directly on the coast, as close to that deposit as the game will let me, as proximity is everything. We can assign up to 3 families to this hut, and we want them spending their time with a fishing line in the water, not on a scenic hike back to our main town. Getting this powerful renewable food source online is how we'll support future growth and avoid any potential food shortages down the line. Okay, the fisherman's hut is officially constructed, but this brings us to the next headache: logistics. Our main granary is way back in the center of town. That's a long walk for our fishermen, and fish do have a high spoilage rate. The solution: a dedicated granary for our new fishing district. I'm plopping it down right next to the fisherman's hut, and I will allow this granary to sell food in the marketplace. This also creates a super efficient little loop. Fish get caught, walked a few feet, and are stored immediately, cutting spoilage way down. We'll connect it to the main road network to give our future granary people a speed boost straight to the marketplace. Now for the fishermen and granary workers themselves. They need a place to live. I'm laying out a few new burgage plots near the shore, and no, we're not going to snap them into a perfect soulless grid. We're going for a charming fishing village, not suburban cul-de-sac. I'm carving out a few plots, making them fairly small to preserve the tree line and providing a backyard space. That's not just for looks. Large backyards let us add animal pens or chicken coops later on, which diversifies the and boosts our food supply. As soon as the constructions are finished and the families have moved in, I'm assigning one of our unassigned families straight to the fisher's hut and a second to the granary. And there we go. You can already see the first hauls of fish being brought in and thankfully stored correctly in our granary. Unfortunately, we did miss out on most of the fishing season, so hopefully we make it through the winter. Interestingly enough, it looks like it's only for the month of January now that you cannot fish. So we're currently looking at February. There's not much that is really giving us any information on that tooltip there, but it's in a freezing status and they are fishing. So like we've got one here. So yeah, that's interesting. Which is good because we ran out of food. So seeing this climb is very good. We've successfully established our core fishing industry and our new fishermen have homes near where they work. The foundation of our lakeside economy is laid. It's amazing how fast this empty shoreline is starting to feel like a real community. And if you're enjoying this expansion and getting ideas for your own towns, let me know in the comments how you prefer to expand your food production. Do you double down on the starting source or branch out into something new like fishing? I'd love to hear your go-to mid-game strategies, and if you're finding this video helpful, consider hitting that like button so we can get it up to our goal of 50 likes. Alright, so we're stabilizing once again. Food from the pond is flowing, but you can't just overfish a spot into oblivion. We need to find the right balance. So I want to run a little experiment to see how fast this deposit actually replenishes. This will help us figure out the perfect number of families to assign here without draining our resources dry. The plan is to let the game run with one family working and watch the deposit. If they're fishing faster than the replenishment rate, the stock will start to shrink until it hits our cap, which I like to set a little bit around 50%. And then we know we've hit our limit. But if the deposit stays full, it means we can afford to employ another family. So let's speed up time and see what happens. Okay, so I know the season technically isn't up yet, but there's a few things I was noticing while watching it play out. So 95 was my 50% marker. I'm actually curious if we could go even lower and bring it to 60 and still replenish enough fish. I'm noticing we have a pretty good productivity tab. I didn't realize the productivity tab had that much information, which is even better. So 63% of it was labor, 29% transportation. I'm not sure what the extensions covers. and then 2% waiting. I'm actually surprised there was even that much transferring, because I kind of figured these guys would do most of the transferring. Which is interesting to me, but okay. I mean, the pantry's obviously fine itself. So, coming back to this a little bit here. I had it set to 95. I just want to see what happens if we try it for more like 30% and bring it down to about 60. So we'll fish up to about 60 out of 187. In addition, there's a growing season. So I want to actually take this second unassigned family and see if I can do something with it. See if we can't get more during the growing season. So to kind of understand how much we got this year, so we'll say until August, let's come back into our resources. Let's come down to our food, get our fishy fish. And over the last 12 months, we produced 228 fish. So yeah, let's do a little bit of editing magic. Let's go back in time, assign a second family, bring this down to 60, and see what happens up until another August year. Alrighty, so 2 families may be a touch too much, but I think I don't mind the 60 fish cap. So ultimately, how much did we end up bringing in this time? Down to fish. Past 12 months. 221, so honestly, it didn't actually increase that at all. That's unfortunate. But what I think I'm gonna do, we'll take that extra family because I think they'd be more productive over at the granary. And then we'll kind of leave it at that for now. Hopefully that will replenish pretty well in the upcoming spring season. And ultimately, 220 food isn't awful. It's not as good as like maybe having a huge vegetable garden, but not bad either. And you know, I just had an idea. We could really flesh this area out and bring some beauty to it. So should we add a small marketplace to this area? Perhaps maybe 3 stalls max? This would kind of decentralize our economy a bit from the town center. Instead of running all the way back and forth, though, to the main town square, our pondside villagers could just grab some fish up in maybe this area here and continue on with their day. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think it'd be strategic? A nice design? Or should we just kind of leave it as is and keep the bulk of the shopping down in the town center? Let's just take a second to appreciate the progress. From a totally empty shore, we now have a small but fully self-sufficient outpost connected to our main town. Our families are housed, our food supply has grown to account for about, we'll call it about 225 fish per year. We're ready for anything. So there you have it. In just one session, we've taken a desolate watering hole and established the proud little fishing hamlet. We've got our new core industry running, our food supply is more secure than ever, and we've laid a foundation that's not only efficient, but has that quaint organic feel we are going for. We started with a clear goal for expansion, put our fishing and logistics first, and now we have a real functioning pondside community. The fishermen are hard at work, smoke is rising from the new chimneys, and South Namalia has a new hub of activity at its shores. But South Namalia isn't done yet. Now that our food supply is bolstered, we can finally turn our attention to another critical need. The next episode will be all about establishing our iron production. Our buildings are starting to require maintenance, and for that, we need tools. We'll set up everything from the mining pit to the bloomery and smithy to create the tools that will keep our entire region from falling into disrepair. Thank you so much for joining me on this build. If you enjoyed it and want to see us get our forges fired up, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on the next episode. For those of you who want a head start, Level 3 channel members get early access to all new videos. And as always, thank you for the support. Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.